Hi there, I'm John Spade. This is the Egg on Thursday morning, and I'm back with some more crazy stuff. I'm going to take us in places that have to do with conspiracies. Some of it is based on reality and what's actually going on, and some of it is based on a little bit of fantasy. 11/11 specifically. And that's not really a conspiracy. It's just something that I've been talking about in past. I want to talk about it again today because I keep seeing it with increased frequency. I'm starting to believe that there's some merit to it. I'm just not sure, because the frequency that I do see these numbers at, there's a reason for it. I still question whether I'm, maybe psychologically it's in my brain, so I'm setting myself up so I see these numbers with increased frequency. But then yesterday something interesting happened. I went to the corner store to get a few items, one of them including a Lotto Max ticket, because I figure you can't win if you don't play. And I don't really buy a lot of those tickets. There's no frequency there. It was just one of those things that I said, I should go and get one of those tickets today. So I go in and I purchase my items, and the guy behind the counter goes, "That'll be 11/11, please." I actually saved the receipt. I wish I had it here so I could show it to you, but take my word for it. You can trust me. So we'll see. On Friday, if I win $50 million, I'll be back doing a video log to talk about 11/11, and then maybe we'll have some converts out there. We'll start the church of 11/11. I digress. Moving on. A friend of mine, Val, posted a link about food additives, specifically aspartame, and sort of this nasty little chemical that they put in food. It's 1,000 times sweeter than sugar. They use it because it's really cheap, and they can put it in all kinds of products. Chewing gum, soda pop, there's things that you wouldn't expect to see it in. It's there because it's really easy to make, and it's super, super cheap, and it also is a little addictive. There's a few problems with this stuff. It's synthesized in a lab. They'll say, but it comes from natural resources, and from what I understand about this, with my reading on it, there are a variety of natural places that they can produce chemical sweeteners. Ethanol is one of the derivatives. Ethyl methyl. I don't have my notes up, or I'd be a little more accurate with my reporting today. But hey, this is my egg. I kind of do my own thing, and I take liberties. So bear with me. What they do know about this stuff is that it's very bad. They've done all the tests. They don't really need to do any more tests. They've done the tests in the labs. A lot of it gets suppressed because, unfortunately, the food industry doesn't want to change their ways because, at the end of the day, it's a business, and they're out to make money. And that's completely understandable to an extent, I guess. But at what point does human life trump profit? You haven't heard me talk about that before, have you? So today, a couple things I want to talk about. Codex Aluminatrius. I've talked about them in past blogs, and I don't know if you've read those blogs. This is a organization that exists. This is not conspiracy. It's not, I know what I'm talking about. I don't wear tinfoil hats. This is an organization supported by the World Health Organization, and they come up with official standards for food handling, food safety around the world. They basically decide what's good for you and me. It's a large organization, so I would be remiss in saying, they're an evil empire out to get us, and, the whole idea that there are powers that be that are trying to cull humans around the world because 6 billion is 3 billion too many, and we can't feed them all. I think there probably is some good intention with Codex, because it's tough when you think about what it takes to feed 6 billion people on this planet. And we're increasing our population, and there's not enough land, there's not enough farmers to keep up with the demand. And there are some critical shortages around the world. People are starving every day. People in countries where you wouldn't think starvation would be an issue, they don't have enough food. Codex Aluminatrius, one of their mandates is to sort of like, they're kind of like an FDA where they want to approve the use of certain chemicals in food that are going to help increase productivity. Unfortunately, some of the items that they put in the food might do this. They're toxins. Codex actually has a list. It's about 600 chemical derivatives that can go into food that are considered toxic. To take any one of them by themselves for prolonged periods would probably result in your death. They actually have, and it takes a while to go through the site because there's a lot of information. It really is. It's a lot to ingest. Not everybody's going to want to do it. Me, this is the stuff I'm curious about, so I do read it. There's a paragraph that really stood out on the site. Now, I haven't been to the site for, I don't know, maybe 6 months, so I'm sort of drawing from my memory here. But it basically says something to this effect. We understand humans' habits as far as what they're talking about, their eating habits. When they go to the store and, their groceries, what they buy and the quantities and what they repeat, as far as sort of regular eating habits. Because we all have those items that we like to eat every day or every second day. And what they go on to say is they understand that there are people out there that do have these habits. They eat every day. There's not much they can do for those people. The way they decide what goes into what food, basically they have crossover chemicals. There's chemicals that sort of do the same thing in foods. Let's use a binding agent, for instance, which holds certain foods together so they have appearance and keeps them looking good on the shelf. Well, they might have 3 of those chemicals. And what they're hoping for is that you're not eating that same item every day. In fact, Monday you're going to eat this, on Wednesday you're going to eat this item over here, and on Saturday you're going to eat this item over here. Using that logic, the feeling is that you'll never ingest enough of the chemicals that they put in the food to cause any real serious risk. There are those people, though, that take this food item here and they eat it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and all the way through the week. Those people are at risk, and they understand that. It's, I guess, it's acceptable limits, and they can't really change people's eating habits. They can't come out and say, hey, guys, guess what? We've got toxic chemicals in your food, so please try not to eat this item more than once a week. That can't happen because people are irrational and they would freak out and lose their minds. What really got me thinking about this is Super Size Me. And the guy that did the movie Super Size Me, Edward Morton. Oh, why can't I think of his name right now? Do I have it up on my screen somewhere? Murlock. He ingested McDonald's for a full month. He would fall under that category that Codex talks about where, they understand there's people out there that would do this. He got really, really sick. And he doesn't touch on it in the documentary, but I really thought about it after finding out about Codex and realized that, this guy probably, whatever McDonald's puts into their foods to keep everything working, probably seriously poisoned them. And when he goes to the hospital, they don't really talk about this or anything. But what I do know from my reading and everything is there is sort of a target demographic in the world that is at risk because they're slowly starving to death. They're not getting the nutrition they need. They're eating too many of the wrong foods that have a lot of these toxins in them that are killing them from the inside. If you want to know more about it, I'm going to post, as I've started doing now on my video logs, links so you know I'm just not making this stuff up, and that it's in fact reality, and I don't think there's any evil intent going on in there in the world. It's just the way it is. And maybe if we had a better way of feeding 6 billion people on this planet, we could come up with ideas. That's about all I want to talk about today in the world of conspiracy. Not a big deal. Thanks for tuning in. Tomorrow, I was actually going to try to get a couple of things in, but I just looked at the time and I'm at 10 minutes, and I want to talk about gun control. Harper and our government is getting ready to vote on a very controversial bill on gun control. They spent well over $1 billion to date and counting on this this bill that really doesn't seem like it's going to be effective in doing what they want it to do. So I can't talk about it today. I won't have enough time. Tomorrow for sure, and it's 11:11. I'm going to check out. Woo! Spooky, spooky. Thanks for tuning into The Egg. See